Welcome, everyone. We're here today to talk about something incredibly important, the evolving threat of H5N1 avian influenza, and more specifically, what it means for you, right in your clinic, with your patients, and for your team's safety.
Okay, let's just dive right in. We're starting with this image of the H5N1 virus for a reason. The threat we're up against isn't a static target. It is constantly changing. It's adapting, and it's finding new ways to jump to new hosts.
So first, let's get a handle on the scale of this problem. This is absolutely not just a bird problem anymore. The rules of the game have completely changed. Since 2021, we've been dealing with a very specific and highly adaptive strain. You can see the name there, clade 2.3.4.4b. This thing has been on a global tear. We're talking about a variant that's responsible for the deaths of hundreds of millions of birds all over the world, and it is showing a really scary ability to adapt. And this is the critical point, what we call a spillover event. The virus is just breaking through its old boundaries. It's now jumping into mammals on a regular basis. We've seen it in wild animals, marine mammals, and most importantly for us, our domestic pets.
So, how does this massive global issue actually show up in your clinic? This is where that worldwide trend becomes a very local, very real problem on your exam table.
In cats, the way this disease presents itself can be really alarming. It's not like a lot of other respiratory viruses you're used to seeing. H5N1 often goes straight for the central nervous system, and that leads to these very severe, very sudden neurological signs. If we look at recent outbreaks, like the one in Poland, we're seeing this distinct and terrifying pattern. A cat might come in with an unstable walk or even convulsions, and that's followed really quickly by major respiratory problems and organ failure. And the speed, that's the key. The patient can go downhill catastrophically in just 24 to 48 hours.
And this number really says it all, doesn't it? The reported mortality rate in cats is over 50%. This is not just another virus. It is an absolute killer, and every single hour counts. Getting that diagnosis early, well, it's literally a matter of life and death.
And of course, this puts you and your entire team at significant risk. Suddenly, everyday procedures become high-risk events. Think about it. Taking a simple swab could mean you're exposed to an aerosolized virus from a sneeze. Nebulization, intubation, even just listening to the lungs up close, all of it now requires way more serious PPE and biosecurity.
So, given how fast and severe this is, any delay in getting a diagnosis can have catastrophic results. It's a huge risk for the patient, for other animals in your clinic, and frankly, for public health. We just can't afford to wait around for an answer.
And that brings us to the critical question we all have to ask ourselves, right? When a cat comes in with these neuro and respiratory signs and you send a sample off to an external lab, what happens in those 2 or 3 days you're waiting for results?
This chart really lays it all out. You've got your rapid antigen tests. Sure, they're fast, but they're notoriously unreliable with a high risk of false negatives. Not good enough. Then there's the external PCR lab. Yeah, it's highly sensitive, but that 2 to 3 day wait creates a massive gap in your biosecurity and your treatment plan. And that's where in-clinic PCR just completely changes the game. You get that top-tier molecular-grade accuracy, but you get it now when it matters.
So, this all leads us to the solution. It's about empowering our clinics with the kind of technology that can actually match the urgency of this threat. It's about shifting from being reactive to being proactive with our biosecurity.
And technology like the GeneReach Packet Central PCR system is designed for exactly this kind of scenario. It's not just another test. It's a fully automated system that puts the gold standard accuracy of PCR right there in your practice. And it gets rid of that dangerous waiting game.
And look, I know what you're thinking. Another complicated machine. But the process couldn't be easier, which is so important in a busy clinic. It's a one-button automated operation. You collect your swab, you load it into a pre-filled tube, you put it in the machine, and you hit start. In about 85 minutes, you have a definitive answer. It's so simple that anyone on your team can run the test with confidence.
So what's the payoff? What does bringing this kind of rapid in-house testing actually mean for your patients, for the community, and for your staff? Let's break it down.
First, and this is the most important one, you can start supportive care and treatment right away. With a disease that has a 48-hour critical window, that time can make all the difference and dramatically increase a patient's chance of survival.
Second, you can break the chain of transmission. With a fast, confirmed diagnosis, you can immediately tell the owner what strict isolation protocols to follow. That stops the virus from spreading to other pets or even to the people in the home.
And finally, protecting our own.
Knowing a diagnosis in under 90 minutes means your team can put the right biosecurity measures in place instantly. You're not guessing anymore. You know exactly what you're dealing with, and that ensures everyone, from your vet techs to your front desk staff, is properly protected.
So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. H5N1 is adapting at an absolutely alarming rate. The real question for all of us on the front lines is this: are our own clinical strategies adapting just as quickly? Because in this new reality, being ready isn't just a good idea, it's our absolute best defense.